I'm a research neuroscientist. Since having my daughter, I realized I turned more and more into my mother. Always ended up yelling at her, and I felt very guilty afterwards. It's like you just start yelling at them because why you're not listening to me? Like I'm talking to you.
She had a degree in neuroscience and she was still yelling at her 3-year-old daughter. How come? And how come, if she had a happy childhood and amazing parents, where was that thing coming from? Was that part of her personality? The fact that she had a low self confidence and she was a people pleaser and avoider? Like, how are all these things connected? And how come maybe few mindfulness exercises and yoga and meditation were not enough for her? What was wrong? And if you're listening there and feeling some similar challenges, well, then this episode of the Zen Supermom podcast is for you. Here's a real story of a real mom who has been rewiring her nervous system with me and my team for the last 3 months. So do you want to hear her share what was off at the beginning and how is she and her daughter doing now? Well, if you're curious, then come and meet Mona with me now. So, hi, Mona. Thank you for agreeing to be on the Zen Superman podcast and sharing your story.
Hey, Alena. We are very excited to be here today and also, to talk about myself and maybe also inspire other mothers with my story.
Exactly. And thank you for that brave, like, okay, let me share. Normally, like, all the moms feel like, I wouldn't, like, that's something I don't want to talk about too much. But that's the thing. Yeah. You want to inspire other moms. So let's start at the beginning. What was the challenge? Like, why were you not this superstar, super mom, also giving your profession and career? Like, what was happening?
So probably have to mention here, so I'm an expat and my husband as well. So we don't have any family support here with us, which probably makes family life a little bit more challenging because you have to deal with everything yourself. And then, it's like we have a 3-year-old daughter. She's a very strong-minded little person. She's very smart. And I always had the feeling in certain situations when she's not listening and he's just doing what she wants, that I get really helpless. And this is where I always ended up. And just, when you repeat saying, don't do this, don't do this. And then at one point, it's like you just start yelling at them because why you're not listening to me? Like I'm talking to you. But on the other side, you really feel helpless inside because I always knew I don't want to do that, but I didn't know how otherwise to reach her. And that was like I was not really happy with that. I always ended up yelling at her, and I felt very guilty afterwards and said, oh my god, it shouldn't be like that. And then obviously then also other things like my personality in public, especially because I didn't want to pay, let people look at us, when she's making her tantrums, when I start giving her what she wants. And
Yeah.
I think that's also a reason that she didn't know where she is with me, because with my husband, it's kind of different. He's a little more clear in instructions or was, than me. And this is where I actually started with that. I didn't feel like it's correct that yelling is the solution to get access to your child, because either mostly she ended up in tears, or sometimes both of us ended up in tears. And it's like, no, that's not the relationship I want to have.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's so lucky to have you that you started like looking for ways how to like heal that situation,
Yeah.
how to get help. Yeah. So, do you remember what is it that you already tried before we met, before you found me somewhere online?
Like I didn't do much really into parenting. But I tried for myself. Like I always had the feeling I want to find my inner peace, if you know what I mean. I always had the feeling I'm not like in a balance with myself. So I tried yoga, I tried positive affirmations, but nothing of like wasn't exploring the whole range of it. because I anyway had a feeling nothing of it helps anyway. I could do yoga as much as I want. I still didn't feel in peace. Then I sometimes I try to see it positive, but I'm a personality which always looks for the worst case scenario. So just to not be disappointed if things don't work out. So positive affirmations also wasn't a great thing which worked. And I just sometimes I thought, is it maybe the nature of being a parent that you maybe at one point it's normal that you yell at your child, or I don't know, maybe it's happening in every family, but I just didn't feel good with it.
Yeah.
Like,
And also the fun thing is, because like what you're mentioning, this is classic, like meditation and yoga and all these mindfulness, and these are great things. We're not making fun of it. But indeed, like at some point it feels like it's never enough. Or that yes, you feel calm on the yoga mat, but then you go back to the kitchen and there's like a mess and there's a child who doesn't listen and the time is ticking, it's like you explode anyways. Now, funnily enough, 2 weeks ago, I had a mom who was interested in like the neuroscience of things, and she was just like, I'm looking for like, hey, and could you teach me how to read brain scans, because maybe if I understand how my brain looks like should I go and get my brain scanned, so that, and would you teach me how to diagnose it and how to change it for myself? What would be your answer for women who have questions like this?
I, obviously, I'm not a clinical neuroscientist, I'm a research neuroscientist, but obviously, yeah, we learn about all the structure of the brain and which region is involved in which task. And obviously, one of the emotional centers is something called amygdala, and it's very works very well for negative emotions. So I mean, it also works for positive, but we always say it's your kind of, this is your first alarm bell. If something goes, it's your amygdala, which rings there and says something is not how it should be, or something is, I mean, from nature out, it's kind of your point. You should be careful. That might be danger. This is how it's evolutionary. That's where it comes from, evolution. But nowadays, yeah, it's like, obviously, it might ring for things which are not really a danger
Yes.
out there.
And the thing is, like, you knew all of this. Like, you
Yeah.
could be giving lectures on all of this. And yet you came home and it's just like, what you explained was happening. So, okay, this is what the challenge was. This is what you already tried to work on it. Even your profession didn't help much there by changing it, that ringing in the amygdala. So, what is it that made you want to even start the Zen Superman program?
So I actually came across one of your posts, I think on social, I don't know if it was YouTube or social media. And then I was saying, oh, that sounds interesting. Like I think it was about yelling moms and feel guilty. And then, oh, it sounds like me. And I was like, I felt very, oh, that's me. And then it was in August before the school starts, you had one of your free, I think it was webinars, and said, oh, come, I will sign up for it. If I just listen to it, maybe I get something out of it. And that's how the whole journey starts, because I was like, it really could resonate with me, what you were writing. It was like, I could really see myself in there. And I said, oh, maybe you have a solution for me, how I can improve my relationship with my daughter. And then, yeah, I went to one of your webinars, just listened to it. And then I think that's how we started with the first introduction call, which
Got
we said,
it.
yeah.
Because I'm curious then even further, because I know, and I'm hearing it from other moms, like there are so many parenting courses, so many parenting coaches who are giving scripts and who are giving theories and who are giving like all the lessons, what to do in different situations with the kids. Like, why did you not choose any of that?
To be honest, I don't really know. I don't know why I didn't first try parenting books or parenting tips. So obviously you had, other mothers, and you see them, how they interact with their child. And said, I mean, I thought maybe I'm just not a good, I was at a stage where I thought maybe I'm not a good mother. Maybe I'm not made for being, I don't want to say made to be a good mother, but maybe I'm just not for this, a woman, who just dies for their children and gives them like just lives for them. And there are these mothers who really, it's like, they come up in or like open up in their new role as a mother. And I was like, sometimes I miss my own life. And I was like, in between, I'm working, and then I have my daughter, and then I also said, where's me? Where's me as a person? And to be honest, I don't know why I didn't try parenting first. As I said, I just came and I said, this is me.
Yeah, well, this is why, because you felt it was not even your daughter's fault, it was you. So then
Yeah,
parenting techniques and blaming your daughter for it would make no difference. And it's so powerful. And thank you for sharing it so openly, because there will be lots of moms listening and watching who are feeling exactly the same way. Like feeling so guilty, like there's something wrong with me. Like, why am I not this
yeah,
amazing mom when I'm trying so hard? I'm dedicated so much time and probably doing better than my parents ever did. And how come it's never
yeah.
enough for my child? And we are still struggling. So thank you
Mm.
so much for sharing that so openly. Yeah. Okay, well then, let's turn on the positive side, right? So, how was the healing journey for you? Because I know there are like lots of moms who are either, I don't have any time for anything and I'm
Yeah.
too busy, and like, is it for me? Because like, and what is it going to take? And can you give me some exercises up front so
Yeah.
that I can see if it's going to help me or not? So how was that journey for you?
I mean, I have to say, I was very naive after your webinar. I said, "Oh yeah, she has this free one-to-one," and I said, "That's it. She will give me tips, and then I can just use
Ah,
them."
so
And
you thought like, oh, so there was misunderstanding about the assessment call? You thought like, I'm going to give you
no,
everything?
I saw maybe I can just get something out, and then
Okay.
I said I just probably might do, and then obviously once we had the call, obviously you made me realize, okay, I think it goes deeper than just having a few tips, and that will fix the whole situation, and that it goes way back. It's way deeper sitting than just, oh yeah, you do this and this, and then everything is fixed. So
So
yeah.
can I just go there, and of course to the level
Yeah.
that you're comfortable with sharing with us and with moms who will be listening and watching. But what was it? Because you were saying it goes way deeper. So what was that way deeper for you? What does it mean?
So I mean, I always knew that. I mean, I'm not the most self-confident person, and I thought it's just my personality. That's how I am, and that I have to hesitate. Or can I do this? Can I do that? Or I realized all these things afterwards, after starting your course, because if we step a little ahead, obviously I learned about all these saboteurs which are influencing you, all the voices in your head.
Trauma
And
patterns, yeah.
I always knew before our call that I always said, oh, maybe I would like to have a professional talk with someone, like I don't want to call it therapy, but someone who is like, you know, I can just open up, that can give me advice how to deal with my life, or give me just tips how to cope in certain situation. So I always had the feeling I would love to do that, just to, not because usually only people are depressed or whatever do these things, but I have the
That
feeling,
was not you.
and normal, exactly that, that's not me. Why should I? But I have to be. I want, I think everyone should probably at one point get their emotions out and share it with someone, who's just listening and maybe giving here and there some advices. Um, so yeah, so I think it was also a personality thing. And the thing is, what I learned now, my main saboteurs are avoider and pleaser. And this is what kills, because if you want to avoid conflict, and on the other hand, make it for everyone as they want, basically please everyone's needs, you as a person, you just lose yourself a little bit, like, because you don't look what you need.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. I didn't had it, just came more out, this saboteurs I have since I had my daughter, because obviously you lose a little bit control of your life, because there's a little person who is making the rule, not the rules, but who dedicates your time and your, when you go where, when, and what you do when, and so on. And this is where I struggled a lot, and it made me so inside, if I knew we are late and we need to go there, and I was just like, tense, and then this all this emotion, this is like a volcano. Then if that builds up, that's how it's exploded. And so yeah, that's why I said it's in your personality, as it's and obviously your personality is what was shaped during your childhood. So even I have to say, I never thought, well, because then when I was reading, with you always said childhood trauma. I said I had a very nice childhood. I said I can't have a childhood trauma. Like when I look back, I think I had a very good childhood, a great childhood. I really enjoyed it. I think I have great parents, but it's when you dig deeper that you uncover a few patterns. And I don't want to blame my parents also, because they don't already knew either what's correct or not. That's because they learned from their parents. So it's, as you call it, generational trauma. It's just passed on. And that's why I said I need to stop this. I don't want to pass it on to my daughter. I want to have I have a great relationship with my parents, but I said I want to have like I said my daughter doesn't deserve this from the beginning. Like it should be. I just want to have a very nice relationship without yelling. We understand each other, and to just be more happy, both of us.
Yeah, and for her to get the healthy role model on what it means to be a woman in this world
Yeah.
without submitting to the pressure of the society that you need to become this self-sacrificing victim if you want to feel like a good mom, and avoiding conflicts, not to make anybody upset, which is what the people pleaser and avoider trauma patterns would normally give you. And this is very common. What you mentioned are like several very important points, because again, there will be lots of moms listening to us and feeling like resonating with your message when, especially like when you said at the beginning, I felt this was my identity, that like the
Mhm.
low self-confidence, that this is who I am. No, 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 no. Anybody listening? I'm raising my voice. Screw that. That's not your personality. That was all that generational. That's the upbringing, how we were taught what a good girl is and how she behaves and what she says, how she manages or stuffs in her emotions. Because good girls always have to be nice, always smile, always say yes, always anticipate other people's needs, always do something even before they ask you, always think of others before you think of yourself, never say what you need because that would be selfish, never take a break, that would be lazy. Don't try to stir the pot too much. Don't say what you think. Don't make anybody upset because that wouldn't be nice. Then people wouldn't love you and you would end up alone. And oh my goodness, that would be terrible. So that's kind of like the mix up of the people pleaser with the avoider. And that is not anybody's personality trait. That is learned behavior from the parents, not throwing them under the bus, indeed, from the pressure of society, the fear of being judged by others, and just like you want to belong. So you will rather keep it quiet and nice. That is, I call it normalized generational trauma, because it's normalized that this is considered the ideal in society, right? This is what we
Yeah.
want people to be so nice and accommodating. Like it's pushed into us, right? So that's why indeed 1000 paper cuts. This is not like one big shock trauma, something horrible happening to you. This is about what did not happen to you.
Mhm.
You were never made felt like loved, heard, seen, worthy of being appreciated just for the way you were. You always thought you had to change, right?
And the funny part is that since having my daughter, I realized I turn more and more into my mother. From how I'm behaving, and I need to do this. I need to, I'm the one at home who does everything, and then I need to sacrifice because that's how she was. She was really that she was staying at home because obviously my father had the more salary, so he went to work. My mother stayed at home. She looked after us children and did all the household and all the other things, and then there was no time, and I have the feeling obviously I'm going to work, but because I have to, because
So you have even more pressure than your mom did, but somehow you're keeping yourself, you were, let's put it back in the past, because we will talk about what it's your reality now, but you were trying to hold yourself to the same
yeah,
standard. This is why it's
exactly.
learned behavior. The snowball just continues from one generation to another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Let's play it then. Okay, all the way now to being finished. Where was it? Did we already let you go? you finished already,
We
right?
had the final call last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like three months now,
Yeah.
3 months in the program.
Yeah.
So what's different now? Can you give some like specific examples of where you would have lost it and how are you dealing with it now?
So the journey itself was, was ups and downs. So in the beginning, you learn obviously all about your saboteurs, about positive intelligence. You learn about PQ reps, and so one of the key things which I realized it's, as I always wanted to please my daughter, that she's not having her tantrums. I didn't put any boundaries on her, and that I think she just didn't know where she is with me, because like, does mommy mean it like this, I'll just try out, or maybe I get what I want. And obviously then mommy said something, just don't listen. At one point I just still get what I want. So I really learned boundaries, that I think children, they just need the structure, and said this is how far I can go. And then the other thing was, PQ reps, very important. Because in the moment where you feel things coming up, it's just to disconnect from them again. And then to listen to these voices. And yes, obviously at one point I realized, this is this saboteur. Now he's talking. And then a judge you have there. And then, okay. And then what I'm trying to do now is just tell them, please be quiet. I don't need you. I can handle that myself. And so then what I had a very difficult time during the program, when I had really stress at work, because it kind of build up things again. So there I had a 2 weeks, I think, where things didn't go as great as they could have been maybe. But afterwards, now at the last 2-3 weeks, I really have the moment, if so I put up the boundaries, and then obviously they lead still to outbreaks at home. But as I say, this is the clear boundary. I know you're upset. But there's no point to discuss to remove them left or right. We said this and this is it, and then I'm just doing my deep breath and try to explain in a very calm way how things are. And I don't want to say it avoids all the tantrums, but I myself am more grounded in the moment. It's not that before I would emotionalize that, oh my God, what do I do now? And then, oh my God, she starts crying again and it's public. Oh, what do the people think? I don't care anymore what the people think. It's not their problem. They don't know why she's crying. Obviously, most of the time, it's not a real crying. It's like this complaint crying. It's not like the tears are running and she would be hurt. It's more like, I don't get what I want. I just try to cry and see what's happening. I said, well, I need to listen to it as well. So other people there might only pass by, sit 5 minutes in the bus with us, and then they can go. I need to listen to the whole time to that. So I don't care. Oops. Sorry. I don't care what the others think about me now. It's not their problem.
Which were people pleaser recovering, like somebody
Yeah.
recovering with people pleasing trauma pattern. This is huge, yeah. So if there are any moms with hyperachiever, with restless, controller trauma patterns, for you, this is normal, right? This is normal just to set boundaries and like, oh, be the disciplinary. But for somebody recovering from the people pleaser and avoider patterns, this is huge. You saying that you don't care about other people, that you're able to set the boundary, and like it doesn't matter what's happening outside. This is fantastic.
I have to say, if it continues, it's like for 10, 15, at one point I get a little bit uneasy, but I still manage to, to calm me down and say, it's all right. It will
That's
be over
completely normal.
eventually. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is, I forgot what I want to say. So
So can I just say, and I'm sorry because that's my
yeah,
fault because I interrupted you. I also want to like jump in whenever we are mentioning some important points. You also mentioned PQ reps before and like lots of
yeah.
terms, technical terms from the program. So I just want to explain what you basically said was that you're able to catch the trigger as it
Mhm.
is evolving, your reaction to it, and you're able to stop it because you're able to hear in that moment what your trauma patterns, like how they are showing up. And this is the exercise, how we catch those is by doing peak reps. That's one of the exercises that you learn all the way at the beginning. But that's what we keep using because that's what helps you become aware of how your body responds to external triggers. What is it that it does with you on the inside? Because for so many of us moms, if you're watching, listening, if you notice that you are spending most of the time in your head, thinking logically, like analyzing situations, trying to work your way through it as a DIY, like I will do it myself, just give me the book, give me the information, I'm going to absorb it. Why is my child crying? Explaining logically 1,000 times nicely, like we have to go now. I'm a nice mom, I'm asking you nicely, so you should be listening. We have to go because look at the time, it's time to go, blah, 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 blah. It's trying to stay in the head. We are ignoring the feelings in the body, all the red flags that are piling up until it all unleashes, right? So this is the huge win that you were sharing. You're able to stop that most of the
Yeah.
times from
I
happening.
mean, now with my daughter, I'm really great. Obviously, there are other situations with other people where I realized during a conversation, oh, I should have probably, where I don't catch it in time, but I realize, oh, now I should have catch that before. But
And this is all about practice as
yeah,
well. Yeah. And this is what you're learning, and you're not judging yourself. You're realizing it as a learning point. But this is all part of them. That's why it's called mental fitness, because this is incremental increases day by day. The more you practice, the stronger your mental muscles will be. You'll be able to handle even situations with other people. And that's what I'm also sharing with lots of women. 3 months is just the beginning. You're
yeah,
learning, like you're building new habits, you're rewiring your brain quite literally. And this is something you will keep using and benefiting from for the rest of your life in all of your relationships and setups, not just at home as a parent. Yeah.
yeah. And the other thing is, I'm trying to be nice to myself. So I always, if I did something good before, I would never give me a credit. But now I said, no, you did a great job. Even if if it's a moment where I managed to bring the child to bed in a calm way, and it's like, you did a great job today. Like you did really, you did well. So I'm trying to be positive to myself, and don't criticize always, oh no, you didn't do that correct, or that. I know it's not perfect yet. And I worry it will take a while until everything goes completely perfect, because sometimes we have discussions a few times a day, some days not. And then I still, obviously, there could be ways how I catch the tantrum before it comes out, but I'm still working on that. So that's will still take a while. But I think the important thing is to realize and to learn out of the situations, like what went wrong, where should I have responded differently, and to do it for the next time, just different.
Yeah, rather than either beating yourself up and feeling like I'm the worst mom in the world, but then still you're not learning anything from it. You just feel bad about
Yeah.
yourself or your kids, you feel guilty, but there's no learning. Or which the avoider would do, like the toxic positivity would be like, no, I'm doing great because I have so much pressure. So let's forget about this. Let's move on. Yeah. Again, no learning from it and kind of like faking it. But as like until you learn, there will be no change the next time. And that's what I have. Like lots of moms come to me and they say, well, but I apologized afterwards, which is better than my parents because my parents never apologized. And I said, well, that's great. But also, until you learn and know, get the tools to do it better the next time, the cycle is toxic as well. You keep yelling and keep apologizing, then yell and then apologize again. So, what mixed messages are the kids getting? Like, this is what love is, that people can hurt you because they love you? Like, that's not the message for our kids, right? So, tell me, Mona, just let's finish with some examples of your daughter. Like, how do you see the impact on her? Like, how, if anything, right? Because she's only 3. So I
Yeah.
can imagine like she's still the very independent, strong-minded girl, but
Yeah.
do you feel any change in her?
While she still obviously tries to negotiate boundaries, especially with me, with my husband, she's a little bit better, but because he probably was from the beginning better than me, she said, what's wrong with mommy? Now I need to negotiate everything.
She's trying. She's
Yeah, yeah,
smart.
obviously she's trying. But what I really, one of the nice thing was, a week ago we had our discussions. Obviously, there was a moment, I didn't yell at her, but I had still emotions coming up, and then she could see that and then she suddenly stopped and said, mommy, why are you upset? And I said, yeah, because I told her you hurt me, like, because she was getting a little bit physical, like, showed really, and then she threw things at me and whatever, and said, "You hurt me," because I just got this outbreak because I was like, why? I know I should. There was a moment. I mean, I was breathing. I was not having a yelling outbreak, but I also at one point was like, how do I catch her to navigate her? That is what I mean. I still need to learn how to navigate it in
Yes.
a different. And then she said, "Why are you upset, mommy?" And I said, "Because you hurt me." And then she said, "Oh," and then she gave me a hug and a kiss. And she said, "Oh, actually, mommy also can." I said, "It's fine to cry sometimes. It's fine to have emotion, but, we need to be nice to each other afterwards." And then yesterday morning, for example, in bed, she also came and she hugged me. "I love my mommy," she said, like this. And, that they give the love back. And,
Yeah.
and that
And
makes
it's
you then feel, that was nurture, it's like your reward for your hard work. Yeah.
exactly. And she didn't do it because she felt obliged or like emotionally manipulated into it or bribed into it. She did it because at that moment she realized, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then your emotions, when they come up, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
If you would be yelling 24/7, then she cannot tell when it's about you or when it's about her. But now that you're cleaning that up and you
Yeah.
can stand your ground, she understands when she crosses the boundary, then you get that reaction. She understands,
Mm.
okay, well, let's pay attention now because this is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Ah, this is fantastic.
Right.
Very
Yeah.
good. Mona, thank you so much for sharing all of your examples and giving us such an open insight into your life and into your processing and feeling and like how everything went and all of your hard work. Congratulations on
Thank
it
you.
paying
Thank
off. And I would just ask you like if there's anything that we didn't mention and you wanted to talk about or any like last message for any moms who might be listening out there who are still struggling with the people pleasing, avoiding, like anything goes, anything you want to share.
Yeah, probably what I want to share is like, it's not a shame to, to ask for help. I think it's if you have the feeling you're not happy with the situation how it is, and it's not doesn't feel correct to you, I know probably it's a little hurdle to ask for professional help, I would call it now like that. But maybe talk to, I don't know, I know sometimes you don't want to share that also with friends, but just be nice to yourself and realize either you might help or you might need help, or but it's you as a mother, it's not your fault as a mother, it's how you probably learned it from your parents. And also what important thing, nothing needs to be perfect. It's like, obviously, this is also a very hard thing. Sometimes you want to deal with everything in one go, and that I had to learn that as well. It's fine if your house doesn't look perfect. If you need a rest, have a rest. Look after yourself a little bit. And if you are happy with yourself, you can, it's easier to be happy with other people. If I think you are not happy inside of you, you carry this along, and obviously you give that, you carry it into relationships with whatever kind of people. And another thing is, it's not only for, I have to think it's not only for mothers, I have to think it's kind of everyone is carrying, even if you don't think you carry it. But I have to think, because I also didn't think I carry generational trauma with me. But it's not only for relationship with your children, it also, I think, helps me for other things in my life, at work. Or one last example, I hate phone calls, and I always avoided them because I'm a great avoider, but then I learned now, no, it's not me. I'm capable of doing these phone calls. I don't know what hesitated me always doing them. There's not a big deal in having a phone call with, obviously with friends, but official phone calls. So this week as I was sitting, I had to do some phone calls with some administration, whatever. And so I'm sitting down, I'm doing this now. And I was so proud of myself that I did all my phone calls without any, and I said, well, it was not a big deal. It's not only in your relationship with the children, it's like it affects your whole life. And as I said, there's no shame if you think you might have, you might have a lot of, let's say, voices in your head which do sabotage on you. And important is that you look after yourself and that you feel yourself grounded. Yeah. And I mean, for me was also because now you give this to your children that don't deserve that you put that on, that it carries on and carries on. And we will have a second baby next year. So I said, just from here on, we try to take it more positive, and
Perfect.
yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. Feel free to make new mistakes. You just don't
Yeah,
need to
of
repeat the
course.
mistakes of your parents. Like
Yeah.
whatever you were taught
I
by
mean,
society, like make your new mistakes.
I guess it will never be, but this is what it's never will be perfect. Obviously, you always get to these points which trigger you again, and it's probably how to deal with them, and that you have the tools how to, not have these outbreaks again.
Yeah.
As I always like, the volcano is coming out and all your emotions, and then in the end, you hurt more people than you actually want.
No
Yeah,
more volcanoes. Of
yeah,
course. Yeah.
trying to.
So beautiful. Your children are so lucky to have you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Best of luck and wishing you lots of fun with your daughter and then wishing lots of health to you and your baby
Thank
inside.
you.
You did this at the right time, huh? And that's what I'm telling all of the moms. There are no coincidences. Like things happen for a reason. So you're being given like now another opportunity because moms who have two, three, and more, they all know it. Like maybe the first kid was okay, then the second one came and the world came apart. For me, it came apart with the first one already. So nothing wrong with you if you're watching there listening and you just have just one and you're losing it. But indeed, with the second one, it's going to be a new game
Mhm.
changer. So this is great that you
Yeah,
have all the tools you need. And yeah, perfect.
thanks.
Congratulations, and thank you again for sharing so openly. And then adding even more examples and even more experiences where this is not just about parenting, but your life in
Yeah.
general. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mona. I think we are going to do like a follow-up episode 1, 2 years from now when the baby two is there and when you can share how it's going then and how you evolved your practice over the years. That's going to be fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, thank you too so much for giving me, or you and your team giving all the help. And I think it's, even if you don't think it begin, but it's an internal change. You think, well, does it really help or whatever? But once you feel it, you think, yeah, it was the right thing to do. So yeah, thank you very much for helping so many mothers
Yeah.
or others or people. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyone, yeah, my pleasure. Well, this is why I do it. It's just such a pity that I cannot do like the before and after, when people sign
Yeah.
up for like a weight loss program, they ask them to take a picture. Like I would love to do a podcast episode before and after because I remember that difference. It's just 3 months. I remember when we spoke the first time. So it's great to have you on camera and thank you again for agreeing, for being so courageous to show on camera because that will hopefully help like people see as well, like feel your energy. So thank you so much and best of luck with the baby.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, and I'm going to see you all then in the next episode of the Zen Superman podcast. Bye.